Have you heard of the Mona Lisa? There's a decent chance you have. It's one of the world's most famous paintings. It was made in the 16th century by Leonardo da Vinci. But being famous comes with its downsides. On Sunday, two protesters hurled soup at the painting. It is glass protected, so the aim was not to harm the painting, but to draw attention. The protesters threw soup while calling for the right to healthy food. And yes, the irony is not lost on us. But this is not the first time such a protest has happened, and Mona Lisa is not the only target. This is a new tactic for protesters. They're throwing food and paint at famous art, trying to bring attention to their cause. But the question remains, is this a productive form of protest, or does it distract from the cause? Our next report explores.
What is more important, art or the right to healthy and sustainable food? It is a big question, and that's what two protesters asked after they hurled soup at a painting. Ironic, isn't it? It may even have been slightly comic. Instead, it was a big, ugly mess, because that painting drenched in soup is the Mona Lisa. Yes, the world-famous painting. It was created in the 16th century by Leonardo da Vinci. You can view it at the Louvre in Paris, where it is behind protective glass. So when the protesters threw soup at it, the painting was not damaged. But that was not the aim anyway. The protesters simply wanted to make a statement, and that they did. But people weren't happy. French Culture Minister Rachida Dati condemned the protest. She said, "The Mona Lisa, like our heritage, belongs to future generations. No cause can justify it being targeted." Some museum visitors were angry.
It's disgusting to treat art that's really valuable for the history of humankind that way.
But most of all, people were confused.
Yes, I understand the demands 1,000 times. But on the other hand, when it comes to the link with art, I don't see why they target works of art. I really don't see the link. I'm not shocked for the Mona Lisa, I'm not worried for her because she's ultra protected. But then I don't see the link with food other than the fact that the Mona Lisa is internationally recognized, so we will definitely hear about this event. But other than that, I don't see any connection.
Indeed, it can be confusing, especially as such protests have become more common than ever. The cause may be climate change or sustainable food, but art has become the common target of varied protests. People are throwing paint and food on art. The world's most famous works, mind you. Last year, Van Gogh's sunflowers turned to the darker palette of tomato soup. Monet's grain stacks went from grains to potatoes. And the Mona Lisa, a crowd favorite for protests, attended an unwanted cake tasting. Activists say these protests are meant to draw attention, to demand action and address concerns, like the impending effects of climate change, the abuse of fossil fuels, or the lack of a healthy diet reaching all tiers of society. While the causes they fight for may be good, the strategy is faulty. Even if the actual painting is not harmed, the property is. Sometimes protesters spray paint gallery walls, glue themselves to it. Meanwhile, some protesters are taking matters even further, like zip-locking themselves to goalposts or blocking motorways. It is disruptive, and no matter how good the soup, it leaves people with a bad taste. Because property damage is no substitute for argument, and causing outrage is not the same as advocacy. So like any work of art, the beauty of protests may lie in the eye of the beholder. But so far, most people only see food strewn across beloved paintings.